Hey Virgo, it's Jasmine here with Be True to You Tarot, and this is a weekly energy read for the 15th to the end of the month. While I was shuffling your cards, I felt like this feeling of release, and I'm a Virgo sun, so trust me, I'm excited to feel that. This Cancer season has been just so emotional and rough and very introspective. There's been a lot of endings and there's been a lot of beginnings. I feel like a lot of the beginnings are still fresh and brand new because they're definitely perspective orientated. They're definitely emotionally focused orientated. They're not all physical brand new beginnings. We're not all seeing the fruits of our labor just yet. However, this reading, I'm so happy to see this reading. Like, it's just joy to my heart because Virgo has been through so many ups and downs and hurdles that, I mean, it's been out of control. We've lost people that we never thought that would leave our lives. We've had to face ourselves as standing in our own way, especially mental patterns, especially self-destructive behaviors. Virgos had to come face to face with some of their biggest failures in life and forgive themselves and keep moving forward. And the thing is with Virgo is that, you know, especially with this time, there's been so many intuitive knowings. However, there's been no like physical proof that we're right. And when you tell a Virgo like, oh no, just trust it, it's like, yeah, we could trust it, we can have faith, but at the same time in the back of our head we're freaking out in our minds of just like, okay, what am I trusting? How am I just trusting in this? I'm going crazy right now. So finally, as we're reaching the end with this partial eclipse, with this new moon, with this fresh slate, with this big lunar eclipse coming too at the end of July, it's finally looking up. Like, it's finally like we're coming on the top of that hill and it's like, okay, I'm here. I've done it. I pushed forward. Things are coming together. Even in my heart right now, it's just like this. I just want to like cry. I feel like tingly all over because it's like finally like I can just relax and breathe for a minute. So let's jump right into the cards. The way that I set up the readings now is a little bit different. The top row, these are all Rider-Waite tarot decks. The top row is going to be the conscious. So this is what you're aware of, feelings that you may be feeling right now, what you want, things like that. This row here is the subconscious. And then this row at the bottom with the smaller cards is the spiritual advice or your higher self. So let's get right into it because I'm really excited to give you guys this news. We have the 5 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Pentacles. So listen. The way that I'm going to read this is I'm going to go down the line. So there's been a lot of mental conflict with ourselves lately. There's been a lot of roadblocks mentally, and all, you know, the thing is, I just want to say that I don't know if all of us are aware of this, the collective, but as we awaken, our manifestation abilities, especially as Virgos, has been extremely high. So what we think has been manifesting. So as we think about worry, we'll see very shortly that worry, even more worry, is manifested into our reality. So there has been this, almost like this journey of trying to understand our mind and come into partnership with our thoughts, where our thoughts work for us instead of against us. And this has been a hard road with the 9 of Wands. We've been pushing and going, trying to get this under control because, I mean, Virgos have the tendency to completely obliterate ourselves emotionally just using our mind, especially if you have a sun that is opposing Mercury, which is mind and communication. If you do, I would suggest everybody check out their natal chart because it's blown my mind that I've checked out mine. You'll figure out a lot of blockages that you have, and you'll see a lot of patterns in your life through that. But I see this finally coming to sort of an end. There's an energy right now coming in subconsciously where we're feeling anxious. We're ready to move. We're ready to tackle something. We're ready to start a new project. However, that fear of being victorious, being successful, that fear of putting ourselves out there is the thing that's causing most of that mental blockage, the thing that's causing those thoughts to drop in and say, you're not ready yet, or those thoughts to drop in and say, we have other things to do, or we should be focusing on other things. That's what we're really kind of struggling with at this moment right now. And the eclipse, thank goodness, this partial eclipse and this new moon, we'll be able to start on this fresh slate because, guys, I'm telling you, like, this is a past energy that we're dealing with now that's kind of fading away, but we're now moving into this whole new energy of financial independence, because the way to act with this, and I've noticed this too with myself, when we have this fear of success, this fear of being recognized, this fear of putting ourselves out there, it comes from some sort of past failure from our childhoods, or if we had unsupportive parents who, you know, didn't really educate us on believing in ourselves or loving ourselves or believing in our worth. If we've had parents like that who were kind of neglected, it can show up in our life in a sense of being fearful to just put ourselves out there because we're scared that we're going to get, you know, ridiculed for what we believe in. Virgos have a little bit of a harder time with change as well. And with all these changes that have been going on in these past few months, with people walking in and out of our lives, with us changing internally in such a vast way, we've been healing at such a deep soul level. There's a lot of healing going on that sometimes we're not sure on how to integrate that. It's like, who am I now? Like, what do I want to do? What do I believe in? And the message that I'm really getting with this is that the key to this is to start coming from a heart-centered place. And what I mean is, instead of acting only from a logical standpoint of, okay, I'm going to do this because, you know, it's what I have to do, it's how I make money, let me just like go on to the daily, the routine. Start acting on your passions. And this was definitely a message in the eclipse reading. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would definitely go see that. But acting from a place of emotional satisfaction and acting from a place of this is what I want to do with my life, and holding on to that this is for me feeling, that this is for me focus, is what's going to put you in that energy that you've been trying to get to. This 9 of Pentacles, this 10 of Pentacles, and this Ace of Cups. Can you believe that, guys? It's right here. It is right here. This is the energy that we're literally coming towards, is right here in the middle. And this is that financially stable, independent energy, that financial gain that's coming in, the walking away from the lack consciousness. Many of us are healing lack conscious wounds right now that are ingrained in our DNA, that if you can look back and you look at your parents and you look all the way past that and you realize that they didn't have much, or your parents struggled, or you're used to struggling, at this point in time, the collective, the people who chose to be born and incarnated in those family lines where there was lack consciousness, we chose to close that karmic cycle. So you may realize that no matter how many strives you made towards financial gain, you either spent it super fast or you lost it in some way. Especially if recently you just went through something unjust where you lost a lot of money, this is being closed. And the way that this financial lack consciousness is being closed is by this emotional renewal. What I just spoke about, coming from this heart-centered place, your actions, your beliefs, your morals being all, you know, rethought of, all kind of looked at one more time, and realizing that you're ready to live life from a heart-centered place. You're ready to make money from this place. You're ready to profit off of what you believe and what you know is true and what your passion is. Now, as a Virgo, we like to be guaranteed that this 10 and this 9 of Pentacles is here. And because there is no way of guaranteeing, just like, I mean, what we've been going through, a lot of us have been going through the dark night of the soul. And there was no guarantee that you were going to make it out of that, but here you are. And if you're still in the middle of it, you're going to make it out of that. This is not the time to start doubting the process, because once this partial eclipse happens in this new moon, and then the next eclipse happens, for the next 6 months, there's going to be a new energy that's going to be available to you where you can begin on a new plate in the sense when it comes to emotions. Yeah, look at 5 of Wands. Do not let this new energy conflict you within. What I'm also hearing too is that Virgos are very studious. Like, we like to know, and this is a great time right now that if you have noticed a pattern, a destructive pattern, whether that's within relationships, whether that's within trust, your faith, making money, this is the time to use this manifestation energy and start learning what it means to save your money. Learn what it means to trust another person to give your heart. Learn this, because your mind, you know, at the logical sense, on the third dimensional sense, your mind can't draw from anywhere but the past. And yes, we're getting very fast downloads from spirit, and we're coming into our fourth dimensional self. We're coming into our higher selves. So we're seeing through a lot of blockages. We're seeing through a lot of false facades that we've been playing out, and karmic relations that we've been playing out. And because we're seeing that, if you want to speed this process up, follow those hunches and start taking your own initiation towards learning and downloading, almost reprogramming your mind, using affirmations. Start reading about money. If you've had money problems, start reading about that right now. Start reading about how to invest. If you want to start a business, get a book on how to start a business. Like, this is that time. This is how you utilize that energy, because as you're sitting there and you're reading, you're like, yep, you know what, this is making sense. And you're downloading all that within your head. You're manifesting your dreams because you're putting energy into those dreams. You know, that's like the second part of manifesting. Now, there is such an amazing balance coming into your life physically. A lot of us haven't seen any type of physical, you know, I'm sorry, I lost a word. Almost like the fruits of our harvest. Like, we're still waiting to be able to harvest what we've been manifesting. And there's been a lot of unjust situations going on. There's been a lot of delays recently. Just throughout these past months, especially with these planets going retrograde, there's been a lot of delays in order for us to look at the things and the aspects of ourselves and to reflect, do I want to keep going forward with this path? Now that reflection period is coming to an end, now that we're getting a stronger grip on who we are and what we want from the world, what we desire, especially if you have been already putting in the work into reading about what you're interested in, looking up the information that you've been kind of getting hunches on, and making sure that you're going towards what you really want to go towards. If you have been courageous enough to question your own patterns and how you've been going about things, we're now coming to this place where physically, in our physical world, things are going to start to balance out. This injustice is going to start balancing out in our lives. And I just want to pull another card because I feel like there's something more to this here. Because, yeah, see, like this is a very stagnant energy that has been dealt with here. Not speaking our truth. Overindulgence and escapism, because that standing still, it causes that anxiety, you know. So this is getting balanced out with this eclipse, with this energy that's coming in. This very well has the ability to be completely wiped clean and balanced out, because like I said, the present energy that you're standing on right now is that financial abundance, is that complete abundance just around environmentally, that worthiness physically, that Ace of Cups. As long as you do not let this energy throw you into confusion. Don't let this energy throw you into confusion. If you are trying to make decisions on where you want to move to next, on what career path you want to focus on, make sure that those decisions that you're making, the choices that are at hand, have nothing to do with anybody else but yourself. And the reason I say that is because right now with this independent energy here, we're getting called to use our solar plexus. And solar plexus is our personal power, our confidence, our self-esteem. And because we're being awakened, especially Kundalini wise, like there's a lot of Kundalini activations in that solar plexus, in that sacral area. Make sure that your decisions are not being clouded by other people. And those decisions are coming straight from your heart and coming from a place of, this is what I want for my life. Yeah. Don't stay in this past mental energies, these past mental restrictions here. Don't. Because the people, your soul tribe is going to come together the more and more you stand in your personal power. I also want to say, if there's somebody in your life right now that you've been dealing with, that you've been in a relationship with, a friend, this could be a coworker, anyone that you've been very tied to, and you've been kind of questioning where that relationship is going or how this is going to unfold down the road because you feel like you're being pulled to another place in your life, it's going to work out. Like, it's going to work out in a sense of your path is calling you in such a way where the universe is going to make it very hard for you not to heed that calling. So the overall message here for the next 2 weeks is, one, start listening to these hunches on what you want to get started on. If you want to get started on a hobby, if you want to get started on a passion project, start looking into those details. Start reading up about that. If you know you're closing out lack consciousness, start getting a book on finances and learn how to save. I keep hearing that, save, save, save. I'm hearing that a lot, and I'm feeling like there's a lot of people who are closing out lack consciousness. If you want to learn how to trust the process, trust yourself. Start getting books on how to trust your intuition and what that means. Start meditating. This is the time to use this energy and place it so ingrained in yourself, so ingrained in your mind, in your vision, and in your heart that as you're learning, you're downloading at such a faster rate because you're listening to what your intuition is telling you, and you're also taking it upon yourself to do the research. The second message here for the next 2 weeks. You've been persevering through this mental ambush that you've been having from all this anxiety, from this stagnation of not being able to move forward. You may be feeling like you're behind in life. You may be feeling like you should be somewhere else right now. You may be frustrated from all the physical changes going on. And the victory it lies when you decide to follow this emotional renewal right here. When you decide to accept this cup within yourself and begin from a heart-centered place. Let the slate get wiped clean, Virgo. And what I mean is, let things go that confuse you, anger you, or hurt you. Those emotions are signs that it just shouldn't be in your life right now. If anything is triggering you in such a way where you're almost thrown out of your power, it's because even messing with it in the first place is too low of a vibration for you. The third message for the next 2 weeks is that this stagnant energy has been maybe causing you to overindulge, whether that's escaping, with a karmic partner, whether that's drinking, doing drugs, going out, staying around friends more often than not, or even isolating yourself to the point where it's unhealthy. And I mean, stagnant energy is not easy to deal with. However, the physical balance is coming to this stagnant energy where you're going to be able to start moving. Whatever unjust situation happened to you that put you in the dumps, that has placed you in an emotional state where you just had enough, where you're emotionally done. Virgos have been going through a deep healing, but the thing with Virgos is that the healing that we're going through is so deep because the pain has run so deep. Many Virgos have run themselves emotionally dry, trying to save other people besides themselves. And a lot of us are just barely emotionally climbing by, especially if you're having awakening symptoms right now, especially if you're having financial problems right now. It's hard. It is. Have the self-compassion to know that it's hard, but also have the self-compassion to not dig yourself a deeper hole of pain. Because and we all know collectively that karmic situations, the more we play into them, the more karma is going to come out. We will learn our lesson for sure. But we have the intuition and the power and the energy right now, planetary-wise, to see through karmic situations and to walk away from them. So I hope that helped. I'm going to be continuing the rest of the videos for today. If you haven't checked out the eclipse video, I suggest that you go check that out because it was really informative on what energies are coming by right now and what energies are being eclipsed out of our lives. There's a lot of karmic situations being eclipsed out of our lives, and karmic situations with not only other people. That's karmic situations with the finances, karmic situations with our friends, with ourselves, with mental patterns and our behaviors. Those are being eclipsed right out of our lives. And it's like, you know, I woke up this morning and I felt this whole new energy just like available to me, and I just wanted to like utilize it. And if you look at my channel right now, if you're here right now, you'll see that I'm just kind of starting this because for a long time I didn't believe in myself. I had this mental conflict here of just kind of, no, you're not ready, you're not ready, you're not ready. But yet I had this anxiousness to do something. I had this anxiousness to act on this new emotional beginning. And this is what that looks like for me. And like I said, I just want to repeat, if you're going through a deep healing right now, take the time to make sure you understand what you're healing from. Make sure you understand how hurtful what you just went through is, and have the self-compassion and the patience with yourself to move on effectively, instead of getting hard on yourself that you don't have everything that you want or you desire physically. And I hope that helped. If you go into the About Me, I have written there how to order personal readings. I also have a website where there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of information. Me and two other writers at the moment, we do poetry, we do narratives, we do creative works, and we also do listicles that help out with all different, various topics. There's also an email there if you're interested in becoming a writer for that website. Just email me and let me know, send me a piece of your work, and we'll hopefully work together. I hope this helped you guys, and I will see you next month.